Welcome back to HealthWise. We're here again with Dr. Denise Graham talking about assertive suturing technique. Well, it's called suture suspension, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Before break, we were talking about, the different kinds of lifts, and we talked about the facial lifts. You also do what's called a buttocks lift.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. Why would someone, and I know the answer, but our audience wants to know. I mean, they want to look like models. So
Yes, and sometimes you have the volume, but gravity has taken over. That can happen, and as things go further south, you want them to be lifted. And again, when you lift them, that gives it a more youthful look. And it also makes the legs look longer, which gives you more of a model-esque kind of physique. But we can make them round when someone has sagging buttocks or even smaller buttocks, but they don't have the lift and the volume that you want. By putting a suture there and pulling it, we can actually make it lifted and round.
okay, I guess too with the new fashions and everything that they have, I noticed, people put on pants and say, well, they don't fit, because they're made for a person with more rounded buttocks or, needing more lift. So I guess that's why, that's another reason why, everybody wants to be a model nowadays. Everyone wants to not necessarily be a model, but look like a model.
Well, one of the things that happens is with aging, we like to describe it the way, for instance, with your face, you have a comedy mask and a tragedy mask. You've
Right.
seen those for drama. Well, as we age, our face starts to look more like a tragedy mask instead of a comedy mask. And by doing the little lifts, we can make it look happier instead of it looking, saggy and sad.
Okay. And ladies, I know a lot of you are going to follow me on this next question, but y'all also, I see on here, do breast lifts.
Yes.
Is that something that, is that only for older women or younger women? Who would need that?
Well, that can happen. Anyone can, as time goes on, whether it's from heavy volume, someone that has very large breasts that are drooping, or as a course of aging, they can have drooping breasts. Well, we can actually lift them using the ligaments and the tissues that are there if someone is already satisfied with the volume of the breasts.
Okay, so it doesn't change the volume. It just basically is just lifting up, so they're not
Right.
sagging
So again,
anymore.
it makes them look more youthful.
Painful. Is it something that, like I said, everyone is going to want to know, does it hurt? Is it, and if it does, how much does it hurt?
Well, it's everything that we do is done using local anesthesia. And one of the things that's very important to me and to my partners is that our patients are comfortable. And so we do whatever we need to do to make them comfortable during the procedure. Afterwards, depending on the procedure, sometimes most of the procedures that we do over-the-counter pain relievers like Tylenol or acetaminophen, ibuprofen are sufficient. But if there is a procedure like the buttocks lift where you're a little uncomfortable because you're going to be sitting down, then
Right.
we would give them some stronger medication for that.
Okay. So turnaround, is the turnaround really fast? Or, I know I've talked to some doctors before in the past, and they're saying it's like really fast, like the next day they can go back to work or whatever. Is that the norm?
Yes, that is. Actually, with all of these procedures, I would expect a day. I always encourage my patients because as Americans, we stress ourselves out and we don't give ourselves enough time to rest and relax.
Great.
But I do encourage people to take a day or two off if that's possible. And if you can't, you are able to go back the next day.
Okay. And I also saw that y'all offer something called I think it was ear refinement.
Yes,
What's that?
we can actually use the sutures to when someone has ears that stick out more than they're comfortable with. We can use the sutures and the cartilage to actually pin the ears back to the head. We can also put a dimple in someone's chin if they'd like to have a dimple in their
Wow.
chin. We can refine the tip of the nose and also the chin.
Okay. And also, while we were talking earlier, you made a comment. We were kind of laughing and talking about eating stuff, and you mentioned that you're going to be going to India soon
Yes, I
to
am.
study with
A guru.
a guru.
Yes,
Okay,
with
so
guru.
and that's interesting in itself because you said you can't eat anything, but
No, I have to follow a vegan diet, which is
which
no animal products. No animal products, no butter, no milk,
no chocolate.
no chocolate, no cheese, no fish, which I love. I don't eat meat anyway, but
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
what made you decide to do that? What?
Well, as I talked about people being stressed out, I do have a daily practice of yoga and meditation, and this is an opportunity for me to take a more extended, delve a little bit more deeply into my meditative practice.
Wow. So, and while you're in India, you're going to be getting you some clients from.
Well, I would imagine that there are definitely clients of all races and cultures and ethnic backgrounds.
Right. We might be into something new. You might have to move your practice to India after you go, and you might have to say, well, hey.
Yes,
So,
we do. We have a lot of clients of different backgrounds.
great.
People are very interested in looking more youthful and rejuvenated and more beautiful.
Well, Doc, like I said, this is, you've given us a lot of information, and I'm sure our viewers have, are listening intently because, like I said before, this area we have a lot of, we eat a lot of foods that aren't good for us and tend to make us have sagging jawline or jowls, as you put it, and, and it's just nice to know that we have some things that we can do that are non-invasive and with a fast turnaround time that we can, do and no scarring also.
Right.
And
And
not
immediate results. You see immediately
correct.
that
And
something's been done.
we didn't talk about the price, but I'm sure, it's affordable. So that's one thing. All these things before, when we saw them on TV, you had to be either a millionaire or close to one to be able to afford these things. So I'm sure our audience was interested in that also. We're going to take a quick break for our commercial, and when we come back, we'll ask you a few more questions.